Hello and welcome to the fresh session of breathing and exchange of gases. Now in the NEET part of breathing and exchange of gases, we are going to discuss regarding the major concepts that we come across in the NEET part. Now in the first part of human physiology, we came across digestion and absorption. The next continued part is breathing and exchange of gases. Now in this part, what we are going to study is first part respiration, second part breathing. How can we differentiate breathing and exchange of gases? Now, before going to the definition of breathing, let's go to the part of respiration. Now, already we know regarding the definition of respiration, which already we have studied in the previous session, that respiration is an oxidative process where complete oxidation of food takes place with release of carbon dioxide, water and energy. And hence, finally, whatever the food is taken in, it is broken down to form into glucose, and that glucose is used in oxidative process. So there are various steps through which we are going to produce the energy. So which is termed as a respiration. That's why definition of respiration differs with that of the breathing. Now what exactly is breathing then? Breathing is an intake of air, giving out of air. Okay, so that is the exact definition of breathing. And in other sense, breathing can be also defined as intake of oxygen, giving out of carbon dioxide. Okay, now let's look at the various definitions here in breathing and exchange of gases. Okay, so as we come across the definition of the respiration, as I have told you, generally what we say is respiration and breathing are same, but technically there is a difference in between these two definitions. Okay, so what is the difference? Respiration, it is an oxidative process where oxidation of nutrients in the living cells to release energy for biological work. Breathing, exchange of oxygen from atmosphere with carbon dioxide produced by the cells. Okay, so that's why the definition of breathing itself is present in the heading. So that's why the heading is named as breathing and exchange of gases. Okay. Now here we are looking this chapter with respect to NEET point of view. Here we are not discussing regarding the theoretical part. Here we are discussing in the NEET point of view. What can we describe? Okay. Now in the first part, as we come across the respiratory organs. Now here we have few examples of the organs through which the respiration occurs in the organisms, different organisms out of that. Now if we come across the first one, breathing or respiration occurs through the general body surface, especially the lower invertebrates like sponges, coelentrates and flatworms. Look at this. There are various respiratory organs present in different organisms. Out of that, first one, respiration in sponges, coelentrates and flatworms occurs through the general body surface. Through their general body surface, the exchange of gases, where we also call it as diffusion. This process occurs. Now, second one. Respiration occurs through the skin, where we also call it as a moist skin or moist cuticle. If respiration occurs through the skin, such type of respiration is said to be cutaneous respiration. So if respiration occurs through the skin, such type of respiration is said to be cutaneous respiration. And such type of cutaneous respiration is observed in organisms like earthworms, leeches and amphibians. Okay, look at this. As we say earthworms are present in the moist soil and an exchange of gases occurs through its moist skin. So that's why earthworm is commonly found in the moist soil and the moist areas. And if the skin gets dried, then the animal will die. So that's why the respiration occurs through moist skin in earthworms, leeches as well as amphibians. Amphibians means when the amphibians are present in water, aquatic water bodies, ultimately the diffusion of gases should occur through the skin only, where we call it as a cutaneous respiration. Okay, next. Third one is tracheal tubes. Third one is tracheal tubes. Respiration occurs through trachea. Trachea is a set of a tube. So almost in case of the insects, a set of tubes are present. These are the tubes through which there is a supply of oxygen to each and every body cells, because all the body cells will be respiring. So almost in case of the insects, like let us take cockroaches only. Respiration occurs through the tracheal tubes. Okay, so tracheal tubes, it is in insects, centipedes, millipedes as well as spiders. So this is how the respiration occurs through the tracheal tubes. Then fourth one, respiration occurs through the gills in case of fishes, tadpoles and prawns. Look at the process here. If respiration occurs through the gills, such type of respiration is called as a branchial respiration. This term is most important. Now, branchial respiration. What is branchial respiration? Respiration through the gills. What is cutaneous respiration? Respiration through the skin. So that's why these terms are most important as far as NEET point of view is concerned, along with the respective examples. The examples which we have selected here, they are mainly from the NCERT only, because most of the NCERT examples are stressed in the NEET part. Okay, so respiration through the gills is called as a branchial respiration. So this is a branchial respiration. Respiration through the gills is called as a branchial respiration. It is a most commonly found in almost all the fishes, amphibian tadpole larvae where they are present in water, and in the prawns, because the prawns are also present in aquatic water bodies. Then fifth one, respiration through the lungs. How do we respire? Through the lungs. How many lungs do we have? A pair of lungs. So respiration through the lungs is said to be pulmonary respiration. So respiration through the lungs is pulmonary respiration, and it is observed in most vertebrates. So it is observed in most vertebrates. Most vertebrates like what? Amphibians, reptiles, aves and mammals. So in all the four classes, respiration occurs through the lungs. Then how can we take these amphibians into the skin as well as through the lungs? So here also we are taking as example of amphibians, reptiles, aves and mammals. So we have taken amphibians in both these categories because already we know amphibians are dual animals. They can respire in the water, they can respire on the land. Terrestrial respiration is through the lungs, aquatic respiration is through the skin. So that's why there are two types of respiration. One is cutaneous respiration in aquatic medium, and pulmonary respiration in case of terrestrial medium. So this is regarding the 5 different types of respiratory organs present in different organisms. That means there are no respiratory organs in the lower invertebrates. That's why respiration occurs through the general body surface. And if the respiration occurs through the skin, such organisms are said to be cutaneous respiration. If the respiration occurs through the gills, such organisms are called as a bronchial respiration. And if the respiration occurs through the lungs, such type is said to be pulmonary respiration. Okay, so this is regarding the introductory part of the respiration and the respiratory organs. Okay, let us move on to the next part. Now, let us enter into the direct part of a human respiratory system. So, human respiratory system will consist of what? First one is a external nostrils. Second one is a nasal cavity. Third one is a pharynx. Fourth one is a larynx. Fifth one is a trachea. And the sixth one is a lungs. If we look at the human respiratory system, we find all these parts. Then what are the parts of human respiratory system? Now, the parts includes, first one is external nostrils. External nostril is nothing but it is an external opening of the nose. So external nostrils. Then second comes the nasal cavity. So this is the external nostrils as we see here. Then upper part, this is the nasal cavity. Third one comes a small region called as a pharynx. Then comes next region larynx. Then comes trachea. Then after that these are the lungs. Okay, so a pair of lungs are present. So these are the parts of the human respiratory system. Now in the human respiratory system, diagram will be given. It will be labeled as A, B, C and D. You have to identify the parts. Okay, so that's why diagrams are also most important, and mainly concentrate on the diagrams of your NCERT, because most of the diagrams are stressed from the NCERT only. Okay, so this is regarding the part. Now human respiratory system, it consists of air trays. We call it as a air passage. Then after that paired lungs, a pair of lungs are present. Now let us study these structures one by one. Let's look at the first one. External nostrils. External nostril is nothing but it is the external opening of the human respiratory system. Okay, so it opens exterior for intake and giving out of air. Then let's go to the nasal cavity. Second part. After the external nostril, next comes the nasal cavity. Now this nasal cavity is divided from the oral cavity, from the mouth, by a hard palate which is present on the upper side of the oral cavity. In the oral cavity on the upper side, we have a hard palate. That palate divides the nasal passage and the oral passage. Now, this nasal cavity, what is the major function of the nasal cavity? The major function of the nasal cavity is, it is the site for filtration, warming, then moistening and olfaction. Look at the major work of this. The major work of nasal cavity is a filtration of the air, because hairs are present in the nasal cavity which filters, because dust should not enter into our respiratory tract. Then warming. warming up of air, because the air which is present outside, the air which is present in our surrounding, the air which is present in the ambient environment, its temperature will vary. Suppose if you go to Shimla, temperature is very cool, it is around 0 degree Celsius. If you take 0 degree Celsius into the lungs, then your lungs will get freezed. So that's why when we take in air, whatever the temperature of the air might be outside, it gets adjusted with the body temperature because of the blood vessels which are present in the nasal cavity, which helps in warming up of the air. So that's why warming up of the air also occurs in the nasal cavity by the blood vessels. That's why our nasal cavity is richly vascularized, rich in blood supply, which provides a body temperature, particular temperature for the air. Then moistening. Now the air gets moistened. You can just see the moisture. Suppose if you take a piece of glass and if you just leave your breath, moisture gets accumulated. This is what is called as a moistening. Okay, so this moistening is due to the mucous membranes which are present in our respiratory tract, and that moistening has to be done to trap the dust particle along with the microorganisms. The next one is olfaction. Olfaction is nothing but a sense of smell. Olfaction is a sense of smell. So sense of smell is said to be olfaction. Okay. We will come to know this sense due to the olfactory receptors present in the nasal tract. And according to a research, what they say is the area of this olfactory receptor is around 2.5 centimeter square, which consists of around 400 receptors. So it consists of around 400 receptors, and these receptors are said to be olfactory receptors. Now these olfactory receptors, they can analyze the smell of around 1 trillion smells. So 1 trillion smells. Look at the amazing fact of the nasal cavity. The fact is, it has around 400 receptors. We call it as the olfactory receptors, which consist of 1 trillion smell centers. That means our nasal passage, nasal cavity can analyze, can sense around 1 trillion smells. Earlier it was thought that we can only smell around 10,000 various scents or fragrance. But now it is proved that we can sense 1 trillion smells. Look at this smell, wide and variety. So that's why if the person is sensitive towards the smell, he can smell anything. Either it is a food, either it is a smell of a flower, either it is a smell of a fruit, either it is a smell of a scent. Irrespective of that, we can analyze it. So that is the amazing fact of the humans. So 400 receptors are there with 1 trillion smell centers. Okay, so this is regarding the part of the nasal cavity. Okay, so this is the part of nasal cavity. Then let's go to the next part. After nasal cavity, next part is regarding the pharynx. Then what is the role of pharynx? Okay, let's look at the role of the pharynx. As already we know, pharynx is called as a common passage. It is called as a common passage for food and air. Pharynx is the common passage for food and air. Now this pharynx is divided into 3 parts. So this pharynx is divided into, first one is oropharynx, second one is nasopharynx, and third one is laryngopharynx. So these are the 3 parts of the pharynx region. Oropharynx, oro refers to oral cavity. The pharynx that arises from the mouth is called as a oropharynx. Naso refers to nasal cavity. The pharynx which arises from the nasal cavity. Then laryngopharynx, the pharynx that arises towards the larynx region. So these are the three different parts of the pharynx. Then what is their function? Oropharynx. As we know, pharynx is a common passage for food and air, and this common passage is mainly involved in transport of food, transport of air, that means gases. Because of a single pharynx, we cannot perform two activities simultaneously. Then what are those two activities? When you drink water, you cannot breathe. When you are breathing, you cannot drink water. Okay, and already you have checked it also. This is because we have a single pharynx, and that pharynx, when we are drinking water, then oropharynx is open, through which the water enters into the esophagus. Okay, remember esophagus is present behind this trachea. Then nasopharynx, when we are breathing, air should enter into the larynx. So that's why nasopharynx helps in movement of air into the larynx and out of the larynx also. Laryngopharynx, it is the pharynx that is present towards the larynx region. Okay. So this is regarding the part of the pharynx. Pharynx is a common passage for food and air. And remember, many people, almost 1 in 1,000, will die due to choking. That's why many say that don't talk while eating the food, because if the food particle enters into the larynx region and into the trachea, then you get choking, you get cough. So this is because when you are breathing and eating the food, chance of entering the food particle into the larynx as well as trachea is more. So that's why we have to be very cautious for this. Okay, so let's go to the next part. After the pharynx, the next one is larynx. Larynx is commonly called as a voice box, or it is also called as sound box. So this is the alternative name for the larynx. Larynx is called as a voice box or sound box. Why it is called as voice box? Already we know, because it produces the voice. How the voice is produced? When the air comes out of the lungs, then only the voice can be produced, because of the presence of vocal cords. Because of their beating action, they produce the sound. So larynx produces the sound, tongue will produce the speech. So that is the specialty of the larynx. Larynx produces sound, that's why commonly called as a sound box, and as it produces the voice, commonly called as a voice box. Okay. Then this larynx consists of around 5 cartilage. It is made up of 5 cartilage, and those include arytenoid cartilage. Second is uniform cartilage. Third one is cricoid cartilage. Fourth one is corniculate cartilage. Fifth one is thyroid cartilage. Look at the point here. Now here we come across the larynx region. This larynx region is made up of 5 cartilages. Now one is arytenoid. These names are important as far as NEET point of view is concerned, because this is not given in the theory part. Now arytenoid cartilage is there. Then apart from this, we have cuneiform cartilage, cricoid cartilage, corniculate cartilage, and thyroid cartilage. okay, which is present in the larynx region. Okay. Now all these are 5 cartilages are present in the larynx. So larynx is made up of 5 cartilage. Out of these, the thyroid cartilage is a protruded outside to form into a structure which is more prominent in males, and it is called as Adam's apple. So the thyroid cartilage is protruded, mainly it is more prominent in the males, and this is called as Adam's apple. Okay. Now what is the function of a larynx? To produce the sound, and hence it is commonly called as a voice box or sound box due to the presence of the vocal cords in it. Okay, so this is regarding the part of the larynx. Now this larynx will give rise to the next structure, which is called as the trachea. Next one is trachea. Trachea is commonly called as windpipe. Trachea is commonly called as windpipe or air pipe. Now this trachea, it is a long tube-like structure that arises from the pharynx, and it consists of C-shaped cartilaginous rings. C-shaped cartilaginous rings. Now this gets branched. It gets branched to form into bronchi. So this is the trachea, which is called as a windpipe. It consists of C-shaped cartilaginous rings, and they are around 15 to 20. This number is important. 15 to 20. Here we have C-shaped cartilaginous rings. Because of that, the trachea is always open. Behind the trachea we have esophagus. Trachea is always open due to the presence of C-shaped cartilaginous rings. How many are there? 15 to 20 C-shaped cartilaginous rings are present in the trachea. That's why it is called as an air pipe or windpipe, through which the air enters and leaves. Now this trachea, it gets branched into primary bronchus. It gets branched into primary bronchus. How many are there? 2 are there. Each one, this bronchus, both together we call it as a bronchi, primary bronchi. These primary bronchi, they get branched. They enter into the lungs. And remember, the trachea, as it arises from the neck region, it enters into the chest region, thoracic region. At the 5th vertebrae, thoracic vertebrae. So on the back side we have vertebrae. Exactly on the 5th vertebrae, it gets branched to form into primary bronchus. These primary bronchus gets rebranched to form into secondary bronchi. Secondary bronchi branches into tertiary bronchi. Tertiary bronchi branches into bronchioles. These bronchioles finally end up in the grape-like structure where we call it as a alveolus. Primary bronchus. This is a secondary bronchus. Then this is a tertiary bronchus. These are bronchioles. This is alveolus. Okay, look at the branching. That means trachea gets branched into 2 bronchi, left and right bronchi, and finally it enters into the lungs. Okay, so the last part of the respiratory system is regarding the part of the lungs. Okay. Now when we come across the lungs, humans have a pair of lungs. So a pair of lungs, left and right lung is there. Here we can see this is the left lung, this is the right lung. Left lung is bilobe having 2 lobes, right lung is trilobe having 3 lobes. Out of that, left lung is little bit smaller because the heart is present at the center in between the lungs and its apex is tilted towards the left side. That's why left lung is a little bit smaller than the right lung. And the space that is present in between the lungs in which the heart is situated, this region we call it as a mediastinum. Remember the region. Name the region of the lungs in which the heart is situated. That region is said to be mediastinum. Mediastinum is a region which is present in between the lungs where heart is located. Okay. So this is regarding the part of the mediastinum. Then looking at the lungs, lungs are the major organs where the exchange of gases occurs. Lungs are very soft structures. As a result, what has to occur here is the lungs has to be protected. It has to be highly protected, and hence how it is protected. Now on the ventral side we have a hard plate called as sternum. We have a bone here called as sternum. How the lungs are protected? So first one is sternum. Then on the lateral side we have ribs. On the back side we have backbone, and on the lower side we have a diaphragm, dome shaped diaphragm. This is how the lung is protected in the ribs, and as it forms the cage we call it as a rib cage. Okay, so how the lungs are protected? By sternum, ribs, then backbone or vertebral column, then diaphragm. All these together forms the rib cage. All together forms the rib cage in which the lungs are highly protected. Okay, so this is how the lungs are there. Now if we look at the structure of the lungs, okay, if you look at the structure of the lungs, now what do the lungs have? Suppose if we take the lungs here, okay, I am giving you a rough idea. Pair of lungs are there. The outer part, this is what is a pleural membrane. Outer and inner pleural membrane are there. So outer pleural membrane, inner pleural membrane. So two membranes are there. In between these two membranes, there is a fluid, and this fluid is what is a pleural fluid. That fluid is said to be pleural fluid. This pleural fluid helps or acts like a shock absorber. It helps in a frictionless movement of the lungs. Okay, so here we have two membranes, outer one and inner visceral pleura. Both together we call it as a pleural membrane. In between these two membranes there is a fluid which is called as a pleural fluid. Okay. Then this is regarding the covering of the lungs. This is most important. Name the membrane. Name the membrane covering the lungs. Pleural membrane. Similarly, name the membrane covering the heart. That is a pericardial membrane. So here regarding the membrane it will be asked regarding the fluid. And in the heart we have the pericardial fluid. Here we have the pleural fluid. Okay, so this is regarding the part of the lungs. Now, as we have discussed in the lungs, the primary bronchi gets branched into primary, secondary, tertiary bronchi, then bronchioles, and finally alveoli, and these alveoli are the terminal parts of the human respiratory system, and hence we call these alveolus as a structural and functional unit of respiratory system. Alveoli are called as a structural and functional unit of respiratory system because the diffusion of gases, exchange of gases occurs in these alveoli. So that's why they are said to be structural and functional unit of the respiratory system. Okay. So regarding the further events of the human respiratory system, we will continue in the next part. Thank you.